All right, guys, welcome. We are here in Rhythms Dance Studio and Event Center in Las Vegas. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of setting goals and staying motivated. And today's guest is super, super important to me. She's been a friend and business partner for over 20 years. She's one of the most amazing women that I know. She's extremely selfless, always thinks about others first, super hard worker, just the absolute, just integrity, everything. This is my good friend, business partner. Her name is Virginia Cano.
Hello.
So I had to pull her in to do this interview about staying motivated and setting goals and things like that. She's not really a big talkative person, but she's absolutely the epitome of this subject. And so I really appreciate you doing this. It's actually really special for me to interview you. I don't think we've ever done this. So this is Virginia Cano. We became friends and business partners over 20 years ago. We went into a few different businesses together, but this is the main one in this amazing building called Rhythms, and we built it together. And it was very, very special and tough and stressful, but now it's peaches and cream.
Yes, finally.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, you already introduced me. I am Virginia Cano. I am originally from Madrid, Spain. I moved here when I was 19. I grew up in Spain. All my family's back home, but when I was 9, I became a military brat, so I traveled a little bit, and I decided to come here for college. My idea was just to come here for school and then go back to Spain, and I'm still here 23 years later.
So you came here for school, and what kept you here?
Salsa. I started learning how to dance. That turned into a hobby, that turned into a dance company, into classes, into teams, and now it's a building and a business. So one of the good things is obviously being able to do what you love for a living, and this has become our dream come true. Obviously, the business side of it is the most it's the hardest part for sure, the most, like you said, stressful part of it all.
Sure.
Not knowing how to build a business, and we did it from scratch, so it was tough, but I'm glad to see that 5 years into it, we're now in a good place, so it worked out.
Yeah, and we didn't coordinate the olive outfit. We actually, neither of us ever wear olive. It just happened. Mm-hmm. So tell us a normal day or a normal week in Virginia's life.
Well, it's a little bit earlier now. I set a goal this year to wake up before 6 a.m., which is very hard for me. I'm not a morning person at all. But I wake up around 5:30, 5:45. I try to meditate in the morning when my mind is quiet, because I suck at meditating, so it's very hard for me to quiet my mind, especially when I go to bed, so I'm trying to do that in the mornings. And then I usually go to the gym 6:30 to 8, right before work. I have a full day at work at a law firm, and then for my law firm, either at least 2 days a week I come here to deal with business. When I'm not here, I'm running the business remote with all of our staff. And the rest of my week, I am taking classes to get a better position with my law firm. And I do a few hobbies. I'm actually learning how to sing. I suck at singing. I want to be better at it, so I'm taking singing lessons.
I had no idea until right now, and that was going to be one of my last questions.
Yeah, that's something nobody knows. So I'm trying to learn how to sing. Besides that, I just try to pick a day for just my partner and I, so we can have at least one day for us. It's important. And through the weekends, just catching up on life. The three of us at home have 6 pets, so they take a lot of time and attention as well. So it's just, having to balance it all, the personal life and the business.
So what are some things that you do to help keep those goals, the motivation? Do you have a vision board? Do you set reminders in your phone to make sure that you stay on track? What are some of the things that you do to stay on track, whether it's daily, weekly, yearly?
I try to always set yearly goals. So recently I set, financial goals, personal goals. My top 3 goals, I have them printed so I can see them daily. So it's important to stay focused on them. So I have them written down. Again, I'm able to look at them. How I plan to achieve them is also important. So writing down how I plan to slowly get there. Obviously, it's not going to be a day or two. Some goals are actually a year out. How I stay on track, just setting myself small goals, little steps, right? It's easier to be able to achieve it that way, knowing that, today I can do one task, tomorrow I might do another. Physical fitness, for example, trying to commit to 5 days a week. If I skip one, then oh well, I have to go on the weekend, but
right.
Try to stay on track and stay adamant.
Okay. Do you think it's important to have daily goals for each goal, or do you think it's just important to have the ultimate goal?
For me, it's a little hard to have daily goals because, again, it's a lot to balance. But as long as I know that I am achieving things as the weeks and the months go by, that's what's important to me, that I am closer to the goal. So that's what I ask myself, any given day, any given week, am I closer to that goal? And that's what counts for me, that I've done something to become closer to it.
Okay. And how hard is it for you to stay motivated with all that you have going on? You're a paralegal, you are part owner of this place, you have a partner, you have six pets, you're learning how to sing, you actually volunteer for animal rescue, and you do a bunch of other things. So how hard is it to stay motivated with everything that you have going on in your life?
I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I think it's always been easy for me to balance out a lot of things at once. It's easy for me to just go. So on that part of it, putting in the work is not an issue. As far as staying motivated, that's a little harder. I think what's important is for me to really know my whys for those goals. As long as that why is stronger than any excuse that I could set for myself to not accomplish it, then that's what keeps me going.
So here's a big question. How do you balance your personal life with everything that you have going on?
Okay. Setting boundaries. Again, it's important to have at least one day a week, or not even one day, one afternoon for just us, when we know, okay, this afternoon we're not going to do anything work related. We're not going to do things for ourselves, and we're going to be on our cell phones. We're just going to dedicate that afternoon for just us. Even if it's, again, half a day out of the week, it's very important. And staying, staying in the now with each other, not being worried about other things, not be mentally elsewhere, just give each other that quality time, even, again, if it's a few hours a week.
So I'm also a workaholic, and I used to cross that boundary with her all the time, and it's 12 o'clock at night, like, we need to talk about this. And now I've had to learn to say, we have employees, and I've had to say, hey, she has a dinner, we'll talk about it later, and that's it. And it's important to have balance because if not, you're gonna go cuckoo. So it's really, really important. So are you pretty relentless once you set your mind to something and you've made your mind up, this is your goal? Or has there been times where you had to kind of pivot and maybe go, this really isn't my goal?
I wouldn't say I'm relentless. For me, at least my definition, or how I perceive relentless, is at all costs. And I don't think I would ever want to achieve something at all costs, especially at the sake of others, for example. So I would say for me, it's more about being constant.
Okay. As
long as you're constant, if you have the will to do something and you're constant with it, I think you can attain anything.
Okay.
Of course, things happen, like you said. You might have to pivot. You might push that goal out for whatever reason. But again, it's just consistency. At least I've noticed that when I don't stay constant, that's when the goals just go out the window. So
okay.
That's why I recommend.
And what things do you have in place to hold yourself accountable? Do you have your partner make sure you're accountable? Is it friends? Is it something where, okay, if I don't get this done, then, you know, what do you have in place, or friends or family or whatever that is, to make sure that you're held accountable to hit those goals and stay motivated?
Well, my partner does help me. He's very supportive, so it doesn't come from a bad place of, hey, you said you were going to do this and you're not. But just nicely being there as a support for me, you know, can I help you achieve your goals? Let's go to the gym together if I didn't go to the gym, things like that. But for myself personally, how I hold myself accountable, it's, again, maybe I have to give up something for the sake of a goal. So if one day I'm lazy and I don't want to get up and go to the gym, I want to sleep in, okay, well then Saturday morning, instead of sleeping in or doing something fun, and I'm going to go to the gym. So holding myself accountable to do it, even if it's outside of the timeline that I meant to complete it. And also rewards. I mean, if you're doing something, you're putting in a lot of work, then you have to reward yourself. So scheduling a massage day, scheduling a weekend out of town from time to time, I think it's important to, again, keep that balance and reward yourself for all the hard work that you're putting in.
I agree. I have a problem with that, as we know. And I'm learning from you that if not, you just overload and burn the candle at both ends. So what are some important goals that you have in 2023?
Singing, that's one. That's
Okay.
my fun one, my hobby. Also buying a second home, hopefully maybe even a third by the end of the year as an investment. That's one of the big ones. And the rest are all more about self-growth, being more outspoken, not getting angry, right? I don't show it, but I get a lot of anger sometimes inside, so just learning to not be reactive and just, again, keep working on myself, just being a better person for myself and for everybody around me.
So life is life. We all go through ups and downs. We don't feel amazing every day. And it's hard to stay motivated sometimes. So what's some advice that you can give people on how to stay motivated, how to stay on track for those goals?
Okay, well, one thing that has helped me is learning what stops us from achieving goals. There's three major factors. One is complacency, right? If we're in a place where we feel okay, then we're not pushed to do more, right? If we're not in a bad situation, or we're not acting out of anger or something that we just can't stand anymore, it's very hard to always stay motivated. So, watch out for complacency. To your self-talk, we talk each other down. We talk down ourselves all the time, right? This isn't attainable, it's too hard, I won't be able to. So that negative self-talk also affects you a lot. And the other factor is fear of change, right? The unknown. What happens if I look for another job? What happens if I take this risk? So that affects us a lot when it comes to achieving the goals and the dreams that we want. On the other side of that, what I learned that helps me attain goals is to write down what I want, be very specific, what is my goal, how do I plan to achieve it, whether it's in small steps or, a game plan. The why, again, the why is super important. If your why is not stronger than your excuses, it's very easy to stay off track. And a timeline. If you don't set yourself a timeline, it's very hard to stick to something. So whether it's a week out, a month out, a year out, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's very important to set that timeline for yourself, because then you feel more pressure to achieve it.
It's awesome. So this is why I have you here, because I think you have a lot of great advice. I think you've been through so much, and we've been through so much together in business. I think you have a lot to share, and I really appreciate that. So last question, you've already said that you started singing. I had no idea, but tell everyone something else that they may not know about you.
Okay. I think that besides working with animals, if I could have my dream side gig, and I didn't hate public speaking, I would love to be a stand-up comedian. I would be like the female version of Jeff Ross. I would be like roasting everybody and laughing, and I would love to do that in a different lifetime.
I had no idea. So that's two things that I learned, and we talk every day. Thank you so much for doing this. I know you're not, big on speaking up and speaking out, but I think you have a lot to offer, and I think you have a lot of great advice, and I think you're such an amazing person, and I think, it's great that people hear your advice because you have a lot of knowledge, you have great integrity, you're just super loyal, you're just, everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.